Welcome, everybody. Good day to all of you. We are back with another Pocho podcast. And now let's get into some of these videos here. So, the first one we have some young fellows getting interviewed. Now, this questions that this guy asks are actually pretty good. Some interesting questions. And then the responses will analyze what's going on here.
Basically, like it's such a to make a human illegal it's such a condescending. It's just a condescending thing. It's very inhumane. It makes no sense for a human are just trying to make their life better from where they were from where a lot of people fled from really horrible situations. Then I believe that
What is the best country in the world?
So first, before we get into that, this guy was saying that that you're leaving. These people have been leaving horrible situations to come for, to get out of a horrible situation. So that's telling of the country that they're coming from, at least in his words. Now let's see what these people say.
What is the what?
What is the best country in the world?
Mexico, definitely for sure Mexico.
Mexico?
Mexico.
So why do you think these people don't want to go back?
I think it's because we sacrifice a lot to be here, and we all want people to come in the right way as well. But things are better over here in America, and they're gonna try their best to be here.
So you have the best country in the world, Mexico, but things are better in the U.S. Some of the stuff is not making sense. Now I'm going to say these are straight up pochas. These are Mexican Americans. Their parents are probably the ones that came across, did all that work, sacrifice and everything. Um, whether they've, followed the immigration process, got their visa and everything or not, that's another situation. But these are pretty much American girls, entitled, pampered in the United States with, everything that they are talking about here. Um, but yet they have that Mexican culture still from their parents probably, and uh, and of course are talking great things about the country.
Well, you just said Mexico is the best country in the world.
It is. But I think that
So why do you have to have but? Why can't you just say it's the best country in the world and that's it?
I'm sorry, I got nervous. um, I think that Mexico is the best country in the world, yes, because of the culture and everything that they has. But if we can't come over here where there's more possibilities of happening, we can't.
So, but if Mexicans get deported back to Mexico, then it's not so bad, right? Because they're going back to the best country in the world.
You can say that, but if there's more opportunity over here,
Another but. So it's the best country in the world, but there's more opportunity in the United States.
then we're gonna take it.
All right, thank you very much.
And they're going to take it. So they're going to take that opportunity in the United States and go with it. So when we talk about opportunity, we're talking about financial opportunities, employment opportunities. And so I want to compare the two because there are employment opportunities in Mexico and then there are employment opportunities in the United States. But they're fighting, they're crossing borders, they're trying to get into the United States. What is the difference between the two countries as far as employment opportunities? The other guy made a little bit of a reference to danger in the countries that they're coming from. So let's say Mexico and narco terrorism or narcos and violence and things like that in Mexico. So they're fleeing that. So that's one aspect. But let's talk about opportunities, like she says. What's the difference? Are you saying that it's easier to find opportunities? It's easier to go to high school, maybe get a job at McDonald's, or maybe to get another type of job as a manager, or maybe go to college and get a job and make money as it is in Mexico compared to Mexico, where you go to high school, you probably can go to college, you might start a business. Is it easier? You're making pesos in Mexico, you're making dollars in the United States. Is that the issue? Let's hear a little bit more what she has to say.
No problem.
All right, who do we have today?
Let's skip
we
this
have
guy.
food, best places to eat at. Just such a beautiful place.
So, why do you think these people don't want to go back if it's the best country in the world?
Because even though a place can be beautiful, but it can also be very dangerous at the same time.
So here he's talking about the dangerous aspect. The other girls talk about opportunities, and we'll get into another video that talks more about the opportunities and the money that's in the United States compared to Mexico. He's talking about a little bit about a different thing. So we have two aspects, two perspectives, or two, we want to talk about pros or cons. two cons here that he's talking about, danger, and then the other girl's talking about economics.
I feel like a lot of people don't want to leave. No, I'm not. People don't want to leave, but they are forced to leave because of the situations that they are put in. It's a lot of dangerous situations, a lot of evil that there is in this world, not just in one country specific. And sometimes it makes people flee. And when people flee, they look for somewhere better to live that can provide them that safety net for them.
But if you say Mexico is the best country in the world, then being deported back to Mexico, not so bad, right? It's the best. You can send back to the best country in the world.
I'm not saying it's not so bad. All I'm saying is that there are people who have already built their life here. In order to have them completely destroy everything that they have built here and have to have them send them back, for them just being simple humans makes no sense at all.
Okay, so that's the best country in the world. It's dangerous. It's not so bad to go back to Mexico. You're destroying your life or that you have here to go back. So a lot of negativity when we're discussing living in Mexico. And so I'm a Mexican American, and I sort of take offense to any. I mean, I recognize there are negative things about each country, but if you're so pro-Mexican, why are you going to say so many negative things about Mexico and about living in Mexico? It's an issue for me when you love Mexico so much and you're displaying all this, with the flag and that it's the greatest country in the world, but you won't live there. Or you're saying all these negative things about it's dangerous to live there or there's no opportunities there. It just doesn't make sense to be stating all this negativity to a country which you hold in such high regard, but you won't dare live. Now, I'm a Mexican American. I grew up in the United States. I love the United States. I love Mexico also. I do see the opportunities that are in the United States, and I see the opportunities that are in Mexico. It might be difficult, more difficult to get higher paying opportunities in Mexico. You need connections, you need family members, you need all kinds of things, and you need to work hard. Maybe more so than in the United States, where yeah, you can work hard, you can get some education, and then bam, you're in there. In Mexico, it's a little bit more difficult, and bam, you're in there, but doesn't mean you're going to get that salary as you would maybe in the United States. Um, but I applaud the Mexicans that are in Mexico that work, and there are rich Mexicans in Mexico. There are wealthy people. It's not, there are nice areas, there are nice houses, nice cities, beautiful. And there are these types of people that maybe don't have that education or don't have those connections, or maybe they just don't have um, that luck, or maybe even that work ethic to endure that difficult time. Maybe not have the best financial situation or home or education, and so the easy route is the United States. And then the easy route is not to go through all the paperwork, but to go through illegally. And yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's, anxiety or risk to always be on the lookout for ICE or whatever. Um, but it's the easy way out. It's the way to get in quickly, easy, get some cash, get some money, avoid bad situations, and then your next generation comes out a little bit better because they Americanize. No matter what, all these kids are Americans. They Americanize no matter what you say, no matter what. Living in America, you Americanize. You're not in Mexico. You're not the same as a Mexican living in Mexico. So let's go to this next one. This girl's even more Americanized, more wild in her statements here. Let's check her out. She came.
Let me hold your hand when I say this. We do not move to America because we think it's a better country. We move here because it's a little less worse than our other countries. Because you're stupid to think that we moved to this country for some hot dogs and some baseball. We have better vibes, music, food, culture, history.
Okay, first of all, the big issue that she says it's a little bit worse. What did she say? A little bit better, a little bit worse?
When I say this, we do not move to America because we think it's a better country. We move here because it's a little less worse.
A little less worse than Mexico or the countries that they come from. So if so this doesn't make sense as well. If The vibes are so great, the food, the culture, everything is great, better than any other country. But the US is a little less worse. Why leave? It's just a little less worse. So you're saying your country is worse, the United States a little less worse, but it doesn't have all this culture, and she's coming off really
Than
condescending.
our other countries. Because you're stupid to think that we moved to this country for some hot dogs and some baseball. We have better vibes, music, food, culture, history, literally all of the above. We just moved here because we are looking to make more money and offer a better chance for our families.
So it's all money and chance for money for their families. So just like I was saying, you have everything you want in Mexico or in these countries, culture, music, food, everything. But there's just a little bit, it's a little bit better or less worse in a different country. So you're going to leave all that behind just for less worse. That doesn't make sense. So she's just exaggerating. It's just sensationalism of I love my country so much that I'm not going to say anything bad about it. I'm not going to say anything negative. I will say stuff negative about the country that I'm coming to, but I am going to go out and get the money from this country. I'm going to make the most out of my opportunities, employment, whatnot, and make money and make everything for my family because I can't do it or I don't want to do it or I don't even know how it is in Mexico. So I just leave it or, whatever country and just leave that country, which is so great, for something else.
Did you know that the minimum
Okay, she
wage
talks about
is
minimum
matcha
wage, blah,
and
blah.
half of a granola bar, honey? Getting destroyed. If you support families getting destroyed, you support granola bar, honey. If you support ICE, you support people getting destroyed. If you support
So people get destroyed. So you're not only going back to the great country, you're everything that's just a little bit worse than the US, but you're getting destroyed in the same play in the same that's the other thing, the other kid, you're destroying their lives when they have to pick up and leave and go back to their country. So this is just a lot of sound bites that they pick up, and this was a lot with the kids when they went to their protest at school. They had all their little sound bites on their signs that they've heard. They don't really think about them or analyze what they're saying um, in their signs and stuff, but it's just really silly. So one thing I want to talk about is from these two videos, we're seeing the need to get money, the need to take advantage of things, and that's something that in this whole world, everyone has to go for what they want. You have to be aggressive. You have to have initiative. You have to be ruthless sometimes. If you want to get something, you got to go after it, and that's something that um, Mexicans, I'll talk with Mexico about Mexico because I'm familiar with Mexico. I've lived in Mexico. I've been in Mexico. Well, let's just take a comparison to driving. So in the US, you drive, you have the lanes, you stay in your lane, um, you don't cut people off. You try to, there are people that do rude things, but basically you follow the rules. Police are there, you can get tickets. In Mexico, there are lanes. Sometimes there are no lanes. Sometimes it's not well defined. But if there's a gap between two cars and I need to get in that lane or I need to cross over, in Mexico, they will go ahead and do that. They will take advantage of any type of space in between cars, gap if you're slow and you don't stay on. Even if you're trying to merge into lanes and people are merging into lanes, people are going to be bumper to bumper. They're not going to let you in. And sometimes you have to almost like get so close it looks like you're going to hit each other and then they'll let you in or they squeeze in and then they're honking and stuff. So it's an aggressive type of thing. They go for what they want. They take advantage of any type of space. When um, when I was younger and making a lot less money, our family needed the services or yeah, the services of WIC. So we would get free milk, free formula, free cheese, certain food items through WIC, not money or anything, but food items for our family. We had to have a salary below a certain level. We would go and we would have an appointment with WIC, and we would, get signed up and all that stuff and receive everything. And there were a lot of other people, a lot of them, most of them were Mexican or Hispanic, and we would be in line, we would be waiting, and if you're in line, like I would normally just, let a little space, or if the line moves and I don't move quick enough, like immediately, like I'm in a rush or something, someone else will be sneaking in. I had several times where, a Mexican lady would like try to sneak in, just move in and act like, oh, everything's normal. Let me just get in front of you because you're leaving this whole space. And it's a little, it's not malicious, but it's like, I got to look after myself. I don't want to be here standing in line, so I'm going to move in. Same with the vehicles, same with what these kids are talking about. If there's an opportunity to make more money, I'm going to go and try and do it. I'm going to try and do it the easy way. I might, not fill out all these paperworks for a visa, for a work visa, or, wait years to try to get in. No, I need to go in now. I need to make dollars. I need to better my family. And so I'm going to do it illegally. I'll save $1,000, do a coyote, and then go in illegally, try to hide and, live that life, then raise kids. They're born in the U.S. They're Mexican Americans. They're pochos. They're all Americanized. They speak Spanish a little bit, but they speak English perfectly. They, since their parents are still they were born in Mexico, lived their lives in Mexico. The kids still grow up with that love for the country. Sometimes they'll, well, I don't know. In certain situations, they will go back if they're legal, if they get their papers and stuff. But so you see this first generation of aggressive taking advantage. The kids learn that a little bit, but then they're also Americanized, and they have no experience, a lot of them, of what it is fully like to be in Mexico. They know of the great, the food and all that stuff. They get inculcated in all the ideology of the United States. They don't appreciate it. They just are looking after, like the girl said, money, opportunity, me, no gratitude, and then really sort of insulting in a backhanded way their own country. So let me know what you think. That's a pretty good, interesting discussion. I applaud all those who stay in Mexico, make bank, struggle, but do very well. And those that come, you come, you take that risk. If you come illegally, you take that risk. Um, it's the kids, it's the younger ones that are just, that are really, and it's Americanization. It's the pampered things, the comforts of U.S. life. You get trends, you get pampered, you get entitled, you think you deserve such things. You become the victim because you are from Mexico, because you have brown skin. You demand certain benefits from victimization and all this. It's just silly. The real strength comes from the Mexicans that cross, that do that effort, that make that sacrifice. The kids are just born as pampered Americans, and that's, what's really being a detriment to their speaking and their, attempts to protest and express themselves. So chew on that for a little. Talk to you guys later.